All right, a few days ago I had posted on my community tab. I'd asked this question like a poll, and I asked them, why is it educated Indians leave India? Okay, and people choose various options, and later on I had a few conversations with a few Indians who have actually left India, who are abroad, and some of them who are actually trying their best to, get another job abroad. So I compiled a list of reasons. And now what I want you to do is go through these points and tell me if it is justified or if there is a point that is wrong. Because, they made a valid argument. Okay. So have a look at this, have a look at these points and tell me which one you agree, which one you disagree, or, whatever your opinion is. I definitely read the comments below. Okay. The first and obvious one why educated Indians leave India, the most obvious one is money. Okay. Now, why are we working day and night? Why do we get up in the morning, go through the traffic and go to a boss we don't like, colleagues we don't like, a work we don't like, why we take so much stress, why we work so many long hours? It's obvious, for money. And with money, we can buy better things in life. So the first one is that. Now, when you compare India to abroad, obviously abroad they pay you much more if you convert the currency. And it's not only that, you'll say expenses are high, but there are many cases I personally know. How I know this? Because they are my clients, where they have got double, triple or 4 times the salary. The highest salary increase I've ever seen, highest, okay, was this guy almost, he got 10 times more than what he was earning in India, but he didn't get it all of a sudden, step by step, 10 times more, okay, and he did this in a span of, I think, 2 to 3 years, okay. Now that is an exception, that is not an everyday thing, but generally most of the people from India, they get at least 2, 3 or 4 times the salary, okay. Then how you live your life, that's a different question. So the first one is salary. The second one is obviously better benefits. And when you get better benefits, you get a better quality of life. Let's say, for example, there are many companies offering insurance. There are many full insurance. There are some companies which are offering child support, or they pay for child expense. In fact, one of my friends, Santosh, the owner of the company was a Gora guy. He paid for both his children's schooling and for the college, that also top-notch university in, I think, London. Yeah, top-notch. He foot the bill. Why? Because this guy was so dedicated. Now, you obviously will say, oh, that is not a policy with everyone. But the chances of this happening in India are exceptionally slim. Okay. And I've seen this many times happen in UAE. Apart from that, you also get a very good car. Okay, you get housing, you get a once-a-year ticket to meet your family. So these are some of the perks that you get, which, adds on, okay. And point number 3 is when you factor in all this, obviously a better quality life. Like, for example, a very simple thing. Check if anyone, if he has gone to Dubai, check the roads of Dubai, Sheikh Zayed Road, for example, versus the roads of India. I'm not saying all the roads of India are bad, and it's an unfair comparison because India is so big, but check, the buildings, the shopping malls, the restaurants, the crowds, the overall experience. It is incredible. Even though I, most of my videos, I wouldn't say some, I highlight the drawbacks, but the lifestyle of Dubai, this quality of standards, I'm just giving Dubai because I was there for so many years. You can't compare it, man. And it is not as expensive as New York. In fact, New York has more poverty and slums than compared to UAE. So I'm telling you, even today, the quality of life that I've enjoyed there in Dubai, UAE, nowhere else in the world. It is top notch. Then number 4 is the entry, the competitiveness. See, in India is such a massive place where, massive place in the sense, massive number of people. And that in turn gives rise to competition. To give you an idea, like for example, the competitive exams, the government exams, check the marks, 99.99. You'll get almost maybe 10,000 students or 1,000, 99.98. This you'll never see in other countries, man. India, the Indians, they take their education very, very seriously. That is why most of the spelling bee competition winners are of Indian origin. Maths genius, Indian origin. IT, Indian origin. They really, grind it out. And that has been part of the subculture. So, when you have so many there in India, it becomes very hard. So that is why they jump ship and go to these other places where competition is very few, less people. So here you have one, you'll compete out of 1,000. There you might just compete out of 2 people. So much better, right? Then point number 5 is definitely this, it's obvious, the currency exchange. Many of them, almost all of them, have their mother, father, brother, sister, family member. Hi, doggy. I think this doggy is lost. It looks like a good husky. Not husky. They have their mother, father, brother, sister all staying in India. So even if you take 10% of your salary and you send it to them, it becomes a big chunk of change, and it becomes far more easier. I know so many people in India, they literally struggle to even save sometimes 10,000 rupees. Okay, but there in Dubai, for example, I'm just giving Dubai as standard. There, when you go abroad, even if you get in US dollars, you can easily save, man, and that's a big plus point, especially currency exchange. That is why I live in baht. I tell people I earn in dollars and I live in baht. So it's a better lifestyle. Huh? Then point number 6, where benefits are concerned, is this one you can say is controversial. Taxes. Okay, when I send some of my people who work on my website and all that, when I send them money in India, they always tell me, oh, the taxes are high and they have to pay for this or pay for that. So I cover up their charges by paying a little extra. In fact, even businessmen who I know there, they were telling me this GST tax and all that. Yeah, if you actually look at it, I have always asked myself this question. Okay, you're paying tax in Denmark or USA or UK or Europe, you pay tax, you get free medicines, free medical, free education. I'm not saying their education are world-class quality. Some places they have really bad and some places they're very good. Then they have unemployment benefits, old age, they take care of people who are old, retirement benefits. Okay, which one of these do you get in India? I really don't know. You can tell me, maybe because I've not been in India. I can never understand. And that also I've heard that only 2% pay taxes. Rest are just trying to skim their way off. I mean, what, 2% are paying in compensation for the 98%? So I don't understand, why do you pay taxes in India? What do you get out of that? So these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points in terms of the money. Okay, money and direct benefits. Now the second category which people told me why they leave India and go abroad is lifestyle related issues. First obviously is population, and I think it becomes very rampant, especially for example in Mumbai when you have to go to the trains, or Delhi when you see the smog and the people. The population is so crazy. In fact, I remember one of my friends, he told me in Delhi he came down from US. He said in Delhi he walked, I think 4 or 5 kilometers just to experience Delhi. He said his mask, when he removed, he said he had, this part was dark okay? And this part was white. And I said, what happened? He got a tan? He said, no, the smoke. He said, when he cleaned his face with the cloth, with the alcohol, he said it became black. He's saying, just imagine how much you're breathing the part of the pollution. What is that, snake? Yeah. So, the first one is population and pollution. Okay, you can take both of them as well. The second one is, forgive me for saying this, but it is dirty, man. Some parts, not the whole of India, some part of it. I'll give you a simple example. You'll hate me for this. Whenever an international plane, you take an international flight from London or any part of the world, and you land in India, especially Mumbai, the minute the airline door opens, you remember what Russell Peters said, no? Suddenly like a blast of like someone farted or some toilet or some, you smell your armpits and like, what the fuck is that smell? That pungent, I don't know, decaying smell, or I don't know what it, like fruits are decaying or someone farted, or I don't know what it is. That smell when it comes, you're like, oh, what the hell is... In fact, you don't have to go very far. Most of the airlines, Indian airlines, when you go into local domestic, and some of the guys stink. Oh, I'm sorry to say this, but they really badly stink. I don't know what it is. Maybe it has been ages since I interacted with the Indians, but I'm not talking of the ones who are educated, not talking of the ones who have lived a good life. Go in a BST bus, go in a railway station. Wow! I don't know, maybe they're used to it, or maybe their nose, it's become like, it's no longer functioning. Maybe they just believe that this is natural aroma. Oh, terrible. I can't stand it, seriously. Unhygienic stuff, I just can't stand, by the way. Then the third one, in terms of Indian lifestyle, I think it is the travel. Like, see, for example, I give you Dubai. Smooth roads, easy travel. India, yes, they have developed networks of railways and all that. But man, it is so tough here. I know some people who literally travel, I think, 1.5, 2 hours just to reach their destination, and then 1 to 2 hours just to come back. I'm like, oh, bloody hell. And you know, I was talking about sweating because of the humidity, because of the heat, and obviously everyone's rubbing against everyone. There's hardly any place. I mean, it becomes very inconvenient. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not at all easy. I'm not saying that London it is easier, but obviously India with, you know, its heat and all that makes it tough to travel. Then point number 4 in the Indian lifestyle, infrastructure. I see this meme, this funny kind of joke thing they show. They show the Egyptians and Romans, you know, hundreds of years ago, the roads that they built. Till today, the roads are still there, even after thousands of years or hundreds of years. India, you build a road in a few months. The road has holes and potholes, and I mean, it's a like they say, no, you take milk and sit in a bus and you keep going. By the time you land in the other area, it's become milkshake. So the infrastructure is bad. Yeah. I really don't know what it is or why it is. Maybe they're using cheap materials. Infrastructure is bad. And the 5th point of Indian lifestyle, last and not the least, I think is, it's bloody expensive. You know, for anyone who is not in India, who assumes India is cheap, you're bloody mistaken. I know so many people who were in the Middle East, who have gone to India. They're saying, oh, Loy, it's not at all cheap. You might think it is cheap. It's not. If you want to live a decent life, it costs a lot of money. In fact, sometimes I get surprised when they tell me onions and tomatoes and vegetables are very, very expensive. I can't wrap my head around why it is so. But I guess maybe because of demand, supply, or maybe politics. So they tell me it is very, very expensive. And yes, given the fact any foreign product, any electronic items, it seems that they slap on a percentage, I don't know, 35% or 25%, I don't know, it's pretty high. How I know this is one of my online friends whom I purchased, I gave him money for a laptop. I checked the price online and I sent him that. I think it was, I don't know, $1,000 or 1,500. I can't remember. It was an Acer laptop. Okay, that much I do remember. Acer laptop. Not a very high-end one. When I sent him the money, he said, no, Loy, you can't buy it in India at this price. I said, it says here international. No, in India with the tax and all that, it's not 20-30% higher. I was like, oh, bloody hell. That's crazy, man. So yeah, that's one of the other reasons. Now we come to the core. And the core, which is not the obvious one, that is money, is the Indian mentality. Now in this I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Okay, I'll quickly go through them. The first one, India, I think the big problem is, it is the best of the West. They want the best of the West. Okay, that's why they dress up high tech, and you see these film stars, most of them dress up half naked, or they try to show modern, and they show the best of the West, but the mentality is worst of the East. So even if they look sophisticated and like wow, modern and all that, their mentality and the behavior is typical. It's like, you know, there's a biblical saying, you can put a ring on a pig's snout to make it look pretty, still a pig. Or like sometimes I say, if you're a jackass and you make a CV like a horse, you're still an ass. So the first one is that. The second one is, I think this crab mentality that is there in Indians. If, you know, crabs, you put them in a bucket, one goes up, the one that goes up, the down one pulls it down, tries to go up. I know this is common in Philippines and some other cultures, but India, it's really bad. They cannot bear you succeeding. They cannot bear you getting publicity, glory. They always want to find something bad in you, and I think it stems from jealousy and envy. Okay, which in turn gives rise to the third point, that is gossip. Gossip is so rampant in India. You know, you have these buildings that are together in a society, okay, and all the aunties meet in the evenings. Arey, usko dekh, arey, uski, what? Uski beti, uska beta, this, that, because obviously they are bored, housewives, no? They have to talk some juicy gossip. So gossip is very rampant. All you have to do is walk with a girl and hold her hand or wear something and everybody will talk about it. Gossip. And yes, obviously the men, nothing else to do, sit with a round of drinks and bitch about the whole world. And then point number 4 is, this is, I think you can see it very obviously today, racism. Now racism has become explicit. If anything they don't agree with you, the answer is Pakistani, Khalistan, Muslim, Hindu, rice bag. For Christians now it's a rice bag. For Hindus it's urine drinker. Muslims it is what? Terrorist or pedophile worshipper. They have all these terminologies. And oh, he's from the east, he's from the west, he's Mallu, he's Malbari, he is North Indian, he is Delhiite and Bombayite, and so they segregate people based on so many factors, which is terrible. I always tell people, you don't have to worry about racism from the West. We ourselves are the most racist. Then point number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Okay. 5 is, everyone wants to interfere in your business, know what's going on, what is happening. And if you don't satisfy that curiosity of theirs, you will be ostracized from society. They feel they have a right. And I think it stems from mother, father, grandmother, and all. They have to know. And that is why, if they're elder than you, you have to tell them. You can't keep a secret from them. And this interference also stems over into the corporate world, where your boss feels you don't tell him, is going to make your life miserable for you. Point number 6. This one you will see with keyboard warriors, and majority of them are Indians know everything. Oof. They will give advice on Indian politics, on Ashok, on Akbar, on the Mughals, on the Hindus, on the Muslims, on the stock market, cryptocurrency, on what Donald Trump is going to do next. They are experts at everything except their own lives. And those experts who know everything, from the cryptocurrency to Wall Street, they will be earning a piddly salary, living in, you know, a small hut with their mum and dad and broken, dilapidated house. That's them. But they're experts of everything. It's so bloody crazy, man. It's a google.com generation. Refer and blabber. And the biggest one, this is at least the reason why I never wanted to be in India, is a religion and superstitious nature. Everything they will twist and turn. See, like what happened with the Nupur Sharma nonsense. Okay, she said the obvious, and all of a sudden they made a ruckus out of it. Muslims made a ruckus. Now if you talk something about Hindus, they'll make a ruckus out of it. You talk about Christians, they'll make a ruckus out of it. That religious sensitivity, and then the superstition. Oh, black cat passed by. Oh, if you insult God, you'll be cursed. You know, you need to do this. Break the coconut for the god. Throw some flowers. Go visit the snake god, cow god. You know, touch the cow and take the blessings. And what's all this? This is nothing but religion and superstition, man. It's, oh, if you drink cow urine, it'll heal. Gaumutra or something, it heals your COVID and it's very healthy. And oh, if you eat the cow dung, oh, it heals. It's very healing. Ayurvedic nonsense. The next category is current, and the current situation. And the biggest one, which is obvious, politics. I don't need to even get into that. You know what I'm talking about. And the worst problem is today, every Tom, Dick and Harry, every youngster, every kid is into politics. They're not sorting out their life. They're not sorting out their problems. They're not sorting out their careers. They're not interested in anything. Just politics and causing harm, causing indifference, causing headaches and violence. And it makes it hell, man. And with politics, you also have the problem of, like Kerala, what they do, strikes, protests. No business can work, no business can function, because every shitty time, some or another nonsense. I think Kerala is run by communists, which is another nonsense. That's why with so much of potential, they're the most backward. And then you have this problem of Islamic indoctrination in Kerala. I've had these conversations with educated guys to justifying educated men and women, justifying why a 50-year-old prophet with a 6-year-old girl. It is perfectly normal. They're trying to justify that. Can you believe this? And then next one is the corruption, which is there in almost every country, but like Brazil or Africa or India. India is among the worst. And I know this because I've literally seen where bribes are being taken. In fact, that fake degree certificate video that I told you, know, I've seen bags of cash, with my own eyes, bags of cash being given, and a whole letterhead of certificates. Original, stamped, signed, empty. You can write what you want. I've seen with my eyes. What more do you need? Colleges, institutes, universities. Yeah, because they want to make their money and retire. So when corruption is so rampant from everything. I remember younger days when my mother used to go and take things. If you give the custom officer, those days, now I think it has changed. Those days, that time I was what? I think 12 years old or something, 30 years ago. Oh, you paid bribes to the custom officer? Okay. Chalo, thank you. Okay, go. Then third one is the laws and the judicial system. Google search this, Salman Khan's that run over incident or shooting the deer. How many years it has been going on? The Indian judicial system can take, maybe they'll take you 50 years just to listen to one case. And the backlog that is there, it will never finish in India. I have seen with my own eyes, lawyers and judges, with my own eyes, taking money with every file. Okay? Don't ask me where. I have seen, and this is not 30 years ago, this is just a few years ago, with my own eyes. Every file had money. It was the fees. Fee structure. What to do? And last and not the least is Because of all this, the quality of life in India is terrible. You just don't know when a protest, when a strike, when a fire, when vandals, or when moral policing and all that nonsense. This is why people want to leave, educated people want to leave India. They're just, any opinion of theirs, anything you say can be used against you. In fact, the biggest one, most disturbing one, is how some Indian men, when they rape women and they are questioned, you can see this in Nirbhai case or something, just Google search on YouTube video. The guy who raped the girl said she had to be taught a lesson. Let that sink in. The guy who rapes is saying she had to be taught a lesson. Then next one and final one. This is where future comes in. The first one is, what is your future? In India, most of the people don't see a future, they see stagnation. That's why people are desperate to leave. Nobody wants that. You know, like even water, river water, if it doesn't flow, it stagnates and smells rotten like a pond, you know. The second one is, which comes to the first one is, so they want growth. The second one is security and stability. They want a, you know, from like Dubai, compared to India, the number of, you know, the ratio of rape or crimes is very, very, very less. In Dubai, peace of mind. Any religion, anything you do, mind your own business, keep quiet, nobody will bother. India, you either get involved or you're anti whatever. And last but not the least, this one I wanted to insert is the volatility of the Indian mind. You know, today's youngsters, today's generation is become so entitled, so toxic, so know-it-all. It becomes very, very hard to tolerate them. Very, very hard. Like cricketers, if they don't score the run or win the match. Educated Indians, educated, from IIT IIMs, like there was that boy from IIT IIMs threatening to rape the daughter of a superstar. He got into trouble, I'm glad. His career is destroyed, he's named and shamed, very good. Then you have, it happened on my Facebook. This guy is going to be a doctor in Russia. He said, your wife, his actual comment, your wife looks like a three-year-old whose services you employed for sex or something like that. His real account, it's not fake, real account, real everything. I, you know, send a formal complaint, and his career and him is going to be in trouble, or I don't know if he's already got in trouble. Just imagine someone says that to you. So with all this, no, that is, people think if my daughter or my son is born here, what is the future? Even I think my daughter, if she was there, I'm not saying everywhere you go Indians will rape, but you know that fear, oh sheesh, this can happen. In fact, one of my cousins, when she went to Mangalore, I'm telling you, she didn't wear anything sexy or anything, normal skirt up to her knees. Okay, she was in the village, not village, like slightly city kind of area. The way people were staring and oogling, it was so disgusting. It's like, oh, they just like, they don't even care. And some of them are even touching their private parts, and come on, man. Anyway, these are some of the reasons which I spoke to people and, you know, evaluated. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. And yeah, one last point. This guy comments almost everywhere, in every video. Even after you get a very worthwhile degree or high marks, or you're successful in your academic, the results, what are the results? In fact, with this degree, if you go to Canada or go abroad, sometimes they don't even recognize. Try, take your degree and go to Canada. Take your flashy degree and flashy marks, go to UK, US. See how much value there is. And you'll come to know what I'm saying. So overall, given all these points, this is why so many Indians, educated Indians, want to leave India. You can tell me if my assessment is right or wrong, and if I missed any points, feel free. And yeah, if you feel if I've said something wrong anywhere, highlight that and I'll definitely read it. Right, you guys take care. Let me know what are your thoughts. I'm signing off. Ciao.